Hey, how we doing, man? How we living? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Moose. Really appreciate you guys being here. All right. Appreciate all that. So thank you very much for stepping into my platform here. All right. What I want to talk about today, we're gonna get right into it because time is money and time is wasted right now. Okay. And in 2026, we ain't got no time to play games. Okay. Everything is on the table right now. And I think all these different pieces and these different powers in the world, they're starting to play their hands. Okay. All right. We just taken one of the biggest pieces off the chessboard. Committee. All right. We've taken him out. All right. We've killed the leader of Iran. Okay. Um, that's actually happened a day ago. Trump announced it. Okay. And things is getting real. Things is happening. And we can't really predict what's going to happen next. Okay. But we do have kind of an idea maybe what we can look into to see what the next piece that's going to fall is. All right. And if you're paying attention to all these kind of events that are happening in the world right now, okay, uh, it's kind of leading to maybe a World War III. Okay, I don't want to say it, but you're seeing all these different powers get involved just based off this one uh incidents that's happened where we've gone and taken off the Ayatollah off the map. Okay, basically he's off the board. All right, he's done data. All right, he ain't never coming back. And now they're talking about possibly what's going to be the regime change, what's going to be the retaliation from the people that are celebrating or from the people that are mourning in the streets in Iran. You have people who are divided, I guess, from the outlets coming out from over there saying that some people are happy and celebrating about this. Okay. And some people are mourning and shouting death to Israel, death to America. So there's a lot to unpack here. And this is, like I said, this is just the beginning of this. These things have so many further outreaching tentacles that we can't see as far as like the future and what could possibly happen from all this and kind of retaliation and there's already things going on. There's already things going on. So you gotta make sure you pay attention, stay locked in because we're gonna get right into it. All right. I got my man Alex Jones. All right. And I don't even want to hear it. Okay. If you don't like Alex Jones, that's fine. But this guy speaks truth. Okay. This guy just speaks absolute truth. All right. I don't want to hear it. All right. So we're gonna play Alex Jones. And a lot of what this guy has talked about in the past has came to fruition to be true. All right. So I said we just listen and let this man go off. All right.
I woke up at about 2 in the morning, right when the U.S.-Israeli attack, basically going to full war with Iran, began. And I've been up ever since then, really thinking about what I was going to say. So there's a lot of different layers to this. Most people are just down to, oh, we shouldn't have regime change. Oh, Trump said he wasn't going to do regime change. And people that want regime change, hey, the Iranian people are under a dictatorship. Let's help them. So that's kind of the main debate going on. I'll get to that in a moment. But what you have to understand is that a lot of this is declassified. Project for the American Century, the neocons, heavily allied with Benjamin Netanyahu, who was in power back on 9/11, staged 9/11, blew up World Trade Center 7, planted bombs at the towers, even though the Israeli group that did it. But it was a joint operation with George Herbert Walker Bush, Rumsfeld, and Benjamin Netanyahu. And I've made films on it, written books. It's just established, known fact by any serious people, any military people. This is just a known fact. We know the names. We know who did it. I mean, my God, the Israelis up in their art project were famous demolitions experts that are part of an art project, and they've got big boxes that have the plastic explosive blasting caps, right there. I mean, they're not even. It's like acme explosive, Wile E. Coyote. Talk about flaunting it in your face. You got Lednig with record put options at his company against the airlines, United American, in the week before. He magically didn't work that day. Larry Silverstein, all that stuff. Okay, 10 hours of evidence. So all of these wars in the Middle East come out of that.
Howard Lutnick.
And that's the excuse to go to the Middle East. Listen, there's a separate issue of Islam being total cancer, being expansionist, and we supposedly fought them over there, so we don't have to fight them over here, but then our governments and NGOs bring them over here. So when I say 9/11 is an inside job, that's not saying that Islam isn't a cancer. It's not saying it's not a crisis. Those are two separate issues. But this project is what Netanyahu has wanted the whole time. He's been in and out of power for 26 years, and they made their move. And just like Israel founded Hamas and funded them, and then stood down on October 7th, just like the U.S. helped create Al-Qaeda, and now we've turned over Syria to Al-Qaeda. It's the same crap, folks. And so if they're able to remove the mullahs, I'm not going to cry. But even Eric Prince said he's not sure what the regime change will do. Could go into civil war, break in multiple pieces. Could get a more radical Muslim group in control. I mean, we just don't know. So then you can have Iran with their Chinese anti-ship missiles take out the aircraft carrier. And then the war accelerates even more. I mean, there's just a lot of problems with this. But if you look at it one-dimensionally and say, oh, the people need help, and oh, they're enriching uranium, and oh, they could get a bomb and all of that, and they're getting more powerful missiles, you can have that argument at some level. But it's all flawed. It's all a lie. Because is the United States not going to attack every other country that might get nukes or has nukes? North Korea has nukes, so they're left alone. Gaddafi gave up his program. You saw what happened to him. So the message is, if you don't have nukes, we'll come pick you off one at a time. I mean, hell, now the globalists want to go to full war with Russia. It's just crazy. And the same neocon globalist forces that did 9/11, started the war with Russia and Ukraine, are the same ones running this show now. Now, that said, we get service members killed, Air Force folks killed. There'll be all the emotion involved, and you'll get behind them and get behind the war. And then you've got Iran could launch real Hezbollah attacks with sleeper cells they have in the U.S. and they get too desperate. Or some element of the government or the Israelis can stage a false flag and escalate this very, very quickly. The Russians and Chinese, North Korea could come in on the side of Iran. The Iranians last year passed a resolution in their parliament to block the Strait of Hormuz if this attack happened. And so I'm going to be live today at 1 p.m. Central, going over all the latest developments, all the graphs, all the charts, all the numbers. And we're going to get some special guests on. I'll be on the Alex Jones Network studios at AJ and Live on X for Alex Jones, and also on Rumble at the Alex Jones Show. So look for that 1 p.m. Central today. It's 2 p.m. Eastern, noon Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific. So I understand why Trump did it with a one-dimensional view of the mullahs and the fact that debt to America and they're getting the missiles and all that. I'm not endorsing it. I'm saying I understand why Trump did what he did from his perspective. I don't agree with it. Whenever I always explain that, people go, "Oh, you're for it." They want to split hairs and be the anti-war people, but I'm not. That's lies. But you guys do that. So I'm here trying to explain all the different pieces, the thinking to it. But I'll tell you, this just goes from bad to worse. And if you think Israel, if you think the neocons are going to stop this project for a greater Israel, which they now admit, Huckabee's like, "Oh yeah, we want the entire Middle East for Israel." Well, that's endless war. It's out of control and it's insane. And this really is Israel fulfilling the stereotype and the cliche that it runs America and is running America into the ground. So I stand with Tucker Carlson, his analysis, and I stand with Ron Paul, and I stand with Thomas Massey. Still, Trump's doing a lot of good. Obviously, get the border secure, getting trillions invested in the U.S., getting us out of the carbon taxes, basically getting us out of the UN. I mean, that's all stuff's all beautiful. But it's just the foreign policy. Well, I'll say this in closing. Trump ran on no regime change. Now, he said, we won't let Iran get a nuke. So he can say, well, I really didn't lie. The point is, now we're committed to this. Now Trump has told them to go out and rise up, and we're going to back them. And so we're committed to a big war with a country 3 times the size of Iraq, with with a population way bigger than Iraq, surrounded by mountains. And just because the young people don't want to be under the mullahs, the Muslims are ready to die, and they got a lot of weapons. And so this could go on for years, or the mullahs could fall today. I hope the mullahs fall, and so this is brought to a swift conclusion. But then the U.S. has its way; they'll put in the Shah's son. Israel has their way; they'll put a fucking Al Qaeda chief in. I'm serious. I mean, this they can attack them a few years later. Oh, look, they're an enemy now, as if we forget, like Men in Black, they erase our memory. Mm-hmm. So that's that. So not another thing with Trump going sideways, folks. That's just my analysis. I'll be on the TV/radio at 1 p.m. Central today. Please follow me on X at Real Alex Jones.
Well, there it is, guys. There it freaking is. Like I mentioned, like he just told you everything that you need to be aware of, and basically everything that's at play here, and all the different scenarios that can happen from this. And you just don't know what to predict. And with that being said, there's another video I want to line up to play that he was mentioning, that he was talking about as well, where he said, hey, look, there could possibly be sleeper cells in the country that we have to be wary of. And actually, that's what happened last night in Austin, Texas. Okay, so there's so much happening right now, and you just got to be wary. You got to just mind your P's and Q's, and just take care of you and yours. Okay, because that's all you can do. and take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. These are the times where you want to be as in good a shape as you can be. You want to be as mindful as possible when you're out and watching your surroundings, and make sure you don't go to big group gatherings at this time, because these are the times, man. These people are looking to retaliate. I don't think they're gonna, like he said, they're gonna go down so easily, because we took their leader off the board. Some of them are mourning him, okay? Some are celebrating, but we don't know which ones, okay? We don't know who on a day-to-day basis, who face-to-face, you don't know. So you have to be very, very careful. But yeah, let me play some of this video here.
And the U.S. is, I think it's fair to say, bracing for the activation of proxy forces, which they said they would do. And they've done exactly what they said, just full escalation. The last thing would be that promise being fulfilled. There's a large Shiite community here in Austin. Even when I was in high school at Anderson High, there was a large community of them. Now, so they have Somalis that are mainly here just to rob and stuff up in Minnesota and Ohio. But if you look at, as you know, Dallas, Plano, all those areas, Houston, San Antonio, but Dallas mainly, I mean, it is Shiite city.
Yeah.
And so we've seen, a lot of where they have a, draw Muhammad contest or burn the Koran deal, they come try to kill people with those. So they're not playing games. And so on warn fellow Texans, we're kind of an epicenter of a potential Shiite attack. Again, it's not about tooting my horn or anything. It's just to explain how I know things. People can understand it. Well, I even in the clip yesterday, I talked about it probably for 30 minutes. I'm going to play the whole thing. I explained how I believe Texas would be the first target of Islamic Shiite terror. And I said, within the next week or two, guaranteed, the U.S. gets hit. And I said, I think we'll hit Texas first. Yeah. The crew did a great job. I just told them to get me one example off the show yesterday. And I think they got like 5 or 6, where I specifically explained why. And I only play this so you remember that I know what I'm talking about. And I've got all this quantum information that I feed in, and then I tell you what I'm really thinking. And I continue to, here's an example. Friday, I said, I believe they will strike at 6 p.m. Central tomorrow, because it's dark over there by then, the middle of the night. And then we learned that the White House has admitted this, that the Iranians knew that we always strike at night because the systems are designed for that. And so they all met at the big Supreme Council building, the Ayatollah and the top generals, insanely in the day. And so they launched the operation right then. As soon as they saw the meeting start, and thank God it went on for a couple hours. I mean, if it was a successful mission, and they took them all out, dropping 30 bombs on them. And they killed the Ayatollah then. So And they were at the White House on Fox News, the general going, we were going to hit them about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock U.S. time. But the president had the bold move. We were able to do it during the day, though it's more dangerous. We don't like to do that, but we couldn't miss this opportunity. I mean, I would have nailed it again at 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern, just because I could just see all the things lining up, all the numbers, the way the propaganda was working, the way the planes were all set up. It just, you could tell what's real and what's not. Because, Trump said he was going to hit a bunch of other times as part of negotiation. I said, Friday, this is not negotiation. We're hitting them. And all this other calculus that would take hours to get it to went into me saying, I think there's going to be sleeper cell attacks, mass shootings, bombings, you name it. And I think Texas. And I said Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio. You have to understand, folks, I do this over and over again because this is what I do. So when I give you more approximations, not really predictions, but prime approximations, I think you should listen to me.
And right now he's showing some video from the attack in Austin last night. This is harrowing, man. I don't know. It's tough. Like I said, we have to be in our P's and Q's, and this just goes to show you that things are so unpredictable. You do not know what kind of scenario can occur from this. So, yeah, guys.
But I guess people do, so why am I saying that? Let's go to the clip from yesterday afternoon, hours before the attack in Austin, down the road. The Ayatollah is dead. This is a big deal, obviously.
Very big deal.
The Iranians said they would attack all of Israel's allies, which they've attacked, 8 countries now, blowing up apartment buildings, hitting U.S. bases, showing precision, sometimes not precision, other times. They've also said they would activate proxy sleeper cells here in the U.S., and they have really professional groups out of any of the Muslim groups. Do you have any intel on that, on them launching terror attacks that if they do it, I think will make what we saw in Mexico last week look tame?
Yeah, I've been asking about the sleeper cells. That's been my biggest concern. I've been asking DHS for a specific number in regards to the sleeper cells. How many have we captured so far? Because as you know, and as our viewers know, they've actually allowed thousands into this country under the Biden regime. And so now we're asking, well, how many of these people have you captured prior to all of this going down? Because I would assume you'd, before launching an attack, would want these people apprehended. They have not yet provided me the official number as of yet. That is the concerning part in all of this. So we don't have anything for.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to stop it here just because. I mean, to that point, I mean, how are they going to find all these sleeper cells? Are they just going to, come out all in the open and just admit it? It's something that's very secretive, and they have to get, high intelligence on to find out who are these people who are secretly going to be terrorist cells that are activated. So, but yeah, guys, I think I covered a lot of this right now for the last few minutes or so. But this last piece of video I do want to just play as well, because this shows who this person was who committed this terrorist attack in Austin. Now, I will say, I have people in my family who are Muslim. I am African myself. I come from a Muslim family, but they're not terrorists. They're just religious, and they're people who are, very devoted to the religion and faithful to the religion. And they wouldn't go out and commit this kind of terror and horror on people. And I just got to say that because I do have Muslims in my family. I myself am not practicing, but, I just think it's very sad that this is something that has come to this point in this country. But maybe it's always going to be at this place and always will be here, But yeah, this is sad, man. But I do want to play this last video, like I mentioned. Let's just line it up here.
At least 20 people were shot in downtown Austin this morning, and at least 3 people are dead. Take a look. It happened behind me.
Aesthetic security. It's a term I use to describe the warm and fuzzy feeling you get when you see a line of squad cars parked under the neon lights of a city street. You think, I'm good. I'm even guilty of this. The guys with the badge are here, but safety isn't a feeling. It's a cold, hard reality of time and space. And on Sunday morning at 1:59 a.m. on 6th Street in Austin, the space between feeling safe and being safe was exactly 57 seconds.
17 people are hurt. 14 were taken to the hospital. 3 are in critical condition, and 3 people were found at the scene dead.
I'm very thankful for the speed with which our public safety officials responded to this. I don't think there's any question that it saved lives.
This was a very active scene. As many of you know, we have paramedics that are embedded in the entertainment district and with the Austin Police Department on the weekends. We received the call at 1:59 a.m. and within 57 seconds, the first paramedics and officers were on scene actively treating the patients.
That was the response time. To the media, that's a heroic success, and it is. But to the 16 people caught in the crossfire, 57 seconds is a lifetime when you're staring down the barrel of a rifle with nothing but a cocktail in your hand to defend yourself.
At this point, prepared to say that it was potentially an act of terrorism. The FBI is working in lockstep with our partners, with Austin Police Department. We have members from our evidence response team, as well as our many other specialty teams, including our digital forensics folks that are on scene, helping to address the scene.
Working in lockstep. It sounds organized, it sounds powerful, but lockstep is a post-game analysis. I was on the east end of 6th Street this week, Thursday to be exact, the side where the cops congregate because that's where they expect the trouble. But the wolf doesn't play the odds. The wolf plays the vulnerability. The shooter didn't go to the east end. He went to the west 6th, outside of Buford's backyard beer garden. He found the gap where the lockstep was just 3 blocks too far away.
There were indicators that on the subject and in his vehicle that indicate potential nexus to terrorism. Again, it's still too early to make a determination on that. That's why we're investigating it very closely with our partners with Austin Police Department.
The FBI is being careful, but the evidence isn't. The shooter was reportedly wearing a Property of Allah hoodie and an undershirt with the Iranian flag. They found a Quran in his SUV. This happened less than 24 hours after the US and Israel launched an Operation Epic Fury against Tehran. We are officially at war. And for years, we've been warned about sleeper cells and radicalized sympathizers right here on our soil. We're told the war is over there, but Sunday morning proved that over there is now right here. Now, I want to be very clear about what I'm saying next. I'm not advocating for anyone to carry a firearm while they're drinking or getting drunk at a bar. What I'm saying is that in this current global crisis, your lifestyle has to reflect the reality of the threat. If you're a part-time carrier, someone who carries 50% of the time, or only when you're going to bad neighborhoods, you're leaving a gap that a predator like this shooter is looking for. This is the time to think about really increasing that percentage closer to 100. If that means you change your plans, if that means maybe you stay sober so you can stay strapped and legal, then maybe that's something you might want to consider. You never know when or where a sleeper cell is going to decide to bring the front lines to your doorstep. You don't get to choose the time of the attack, but you do get to choose your level of readiness. Under the law, specifically Warren v. DC, the police have no legal duty to protect you specifically.
I think I'm gonna stop it right there, y'all, because he said everything I would have said perfectly if I was had his level of expertise. He said you want to just be prepared for your level of readiness, okay? You just want to be ready for anything that comes at your doorstep, okay? And that's where we are right now. That's where things is at. So I'm gonna leave it to you guys, all right, to take what you will from this video, take what you will from everything that we went over, okay? Because things is real right now. It's real. It is realer than a heart attack, okay? So we got to be prepared for everything that could possibly occur. Unfortunately, that's just how it is right now. There's nothing else that could be said. We live in a crazy, crazy cool world, and somebody's got to cover it. And I think I'm the man to do it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.